YouTube doesn't conk out on me again. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smudcast number 590. Bad media criticism from a person I've never heard or seen before named Sarah Z. I'm assuming that's her last name cut off, unless she's trying to say she's part of Generation Z. She's a bit young, I think. But okay. This video came out 4 years ago, or almost 4 years ago, 2018, and has over 1 million views, and she's got almost 550,000 subs. So she's this big YouTuber I've never heard of, talking about critics or criticizing critics, which is always fun because we do that all the time. So we have lots of experience talking about bad takes, bad criteria, bad understanding of the subject material, and lots of favoritism and subjectivity thrown around to make it look like they know what they're talking about. This seems to be a parody. I don't know. I haven't seen more than a few seconds of this video, so I couldn't tell you guys. But this is what we do. Always nice to see a lampoon or a satirical take on the thing we do best, or the thing we're known for, which is always fun, for me at least. You guys could hate this thing.
Judging by the other videos this woman has posted, because we're all blown away at the fact that we have never heard of this woman, yet she has more subscribers and more views than some of the most influential people on the platform. Doesn't even come close. Like, Mon is relatively small compared to her, yet everyone has heard of him. But none of us have heard this woman, and I checked her videos, and she's exactly what I thought she was going to be. Easily marketable video thumbnails.
Yeah, we were joking beforehand about, she reminded me of just the layout looked like Jenny Nichols, or Jenny, whatever her name was.
Jebby
Nicholson. Yeah, and I just noticing right now, she has the Duran Dragonpa, or whatever the hell that crazy
Dragonpa.
Yeah, that murder mystery Teddy in the background. I was like, okay, so she's into anime at least, or anime gaming. So I don't know. I mean, she could be a gamer.
Might just be pseudo dark stuff. You have to Welcome to Night Vale podcast thing.
Yeah. So we don't know yet where her brain is at, where her tastes are at. We could be totally off. We have no clue.
Otherwise, it's a rather empty wall.
That's fine. It's all right.
It's very clean.
Compared
organized.
to
the posters could be closer to the wall.
Compared to Razor Fist,
just unrolled yesterday.
I know. Compared to other people who have like everything on their wall and just like, whoa, like Fable 3, like what a great game. It's like, oh, I don't know. That's probably not what you want on your wall, but okay, whatever you have on your wall is your business. But if you're gonna put on the YouTubes, we're gonna see it. So
I would, if somebody had a Syndicate poster and had it on the wall for 20 years, I could understand that, because that was an amazing game.
The original, yeah, exactly, yeah. Back in the 90s.
I thought you were talking about Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
The Bullfrog game that was proper Ghost in the Shell related, inspired cyberpunk.
That was great. You steal people.
Good dark cyberpunk.
Yeah, you steal people off the street and you tear their limbs off and replace them with augmented limbs, and then you turn them into your policemen. It's kind of cool. So
yeah, your little servitors.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, anyway, let's get going. This is 26 minutes long. We might bail halfway through just because it's going to be a waste of our time, or it's annoying, or she's not saying anything worthwhile, or it's not very funny. You never know. This could be amazing. This could be trash. Let's get going.
To my YouTube channel. My name is Detail Detective, and I'm here to tell you why all your favorite media is terrible.
No, you're lying.
Detail Detective.
Your name is Zara Z.
What does that remind me of? The detective guy on the Jonathan McIntosh.
Yes.
Oh, I think she might be playing a character or some.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, this is a good sign.
It's a satire.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a satire.
Here we go.
5-part video. This children's show is garbage, and here's why. Part 1. The plot. So, in this frame, Fairy Princess Sparkletina's sash is...
Oh, no.
What?
She went from plot to what?
she immediately went from plot into actually these are inconsistencies between the show or between shots. I get what she's talking about. It's the usual complaints that, oh, what's it called?
Yeah, but it's continuity errors.
Yeah, the constant continuity. Why was that so fucking hard to say? You know, continuity errors that were showing up in Steven Universe.
Yeah, I don't think we attribute animation glitches or problems with color scheme or whatever style of animation with serious errors. It's not a big deal. It's just something to point out.
In these really cheaply made cartoons, that shouldn't happen.
Oh, that's all. Well, that's kind of like, why are you watching that in the first place, right?
Continuity errors in live shows are more likely to happen,
right?
Because they're just here's an oversight, there's an oversight, or we can't get the same horse today, but we have to film, otherwise it's just we don't have anything.
Disappearing knife. Disappearing knife in The Last Jedi.
That is not that is not an oversight. That is just the whole thing wasn't choreographed properly.
Well, properly is the correct term, yeah.
Yeah, already I'm wondering, okay, what's your point? Because people have a very legitimate reason for arguing, well, detracting from Steven Universe because of its awful continuity errors, because it's not just frames that have issues. Every animation has frame issues. Every single one of them. Gundam is chock full of them. Everyone loves it. Steven Universe doesn't just have errors, it has degradation of character designs because they don't have references for their fucking characters.
Yeah, they have not even that. There was a layer error in an Asterix movie, sadly, because the animation was over the wilting flowers. It can't even happen in big movies, but nowadays where everything's digital, you don't have these excuses anymore. It's much easier to redo.
Especially when you're talking about stuff that's been produced in the past 5, maybe 7 years, and they're using software anyway to make animation as opposed to drawing it themselves. And it should be static. It should be, this is how it's always been. So, I don't know. Maybe she's going somewhere with this joke. I don't know.
And this isn't necessarily plot.
No, it's not.
Continuity errors can mess with the plot. They don't necessarily always do.
No, I don't think so. Okay, let's go.
Sky blue, and in the next shot of her sash is cerulean. Clearly, the animators do not care about consistency or quality.
Yeah, those are the same category.
That was gray and green.
Well, if she says it's cerulean, they're versions of blue, and cerulean involves green hue. So you could say in certain lighting, this could be a technical issue. This could be a shading issue.
Your camera's not picking it up right because it's lacking a UV filter, maybe?
Well, red and green are kind of those colors that people have problems with seeing in general. Like some people are various levels of color blindness. It starts with red and green. That's fine. We're not saying she has that, but she's making a joke here, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
fine, no biggie.
She used deliberately pretentious color names.
Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah,
but it's just nah.
Not only that, but we're told she's a time traveler. Why doesn't she just travel back 50 years and kill Prince Bloody Sword when he was a baby? Oh, let me guess. Because she doesn't want to kill anyone. We all know what that means. Sparkletina's a fascist.
What? What is happening? Is she making fun of?
This is just going full blown overboard.
This is just a cope video about Lily Orsha's video on Steven Universe.
Yeah, I think she's making fun of people who make fun of other people who like these videos or these shows, but she's using the terms to make herself look like she's from the other side. I don't know. I'm a little confused right now.
I think you're looking way too deep into this. Just judging by how she presents her video, she seems like she doesn't seem like the 4D chess kind of person to me.
I'm confused, but
who
anyway.
does play 4D chess or who pretends to play 4D chess?
Who knows?
I'm saying that it seems like she's just making fun of the orchard.
Oh.
And that's how deep it goes.
That is hard to. Why would you even bother? But okay. I mean,
that's what I mean. It's probably not as deep as we think.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that. All right.
This is the first half. Just move on.
Okay, it's good.
Fairy Princess Adventure is officially cancelled. Over the past 3 years, media criticism and video essays have blown up in popularity. Lindsay Ellis's...
No, they've been popular for decades. What do you like? We've been doing this. Well,
at least one.
Siskel Ebert's been around for
not decades old yet.
Yeah, for movies. No, this maybe on YouTube per se.
Years, drinking water has been an explosive quality.
Yeah, well.
Yes, being a clone nostalgia critic makes you popular, I guess.
I'm sure someone will stumble upon a not yet during the translation process upon an Assyrian tablet that will media review the Epic of Gilgamesh. We just haven't found it yet. There are several 10,000 still to be translated. Learn Assyrian, you'll have a stable job.
We will translate a play that's just critiquing someone else's literature before Martin finishes his fucking book.
Oh. Yeah, that'll happen.
Hey, we've mentioned this a couple of times, but there have been no chapters of the Epic of Gilgamesh before Martin Shane.
Didn't he have an update? He said he was like 3/4 done or something like that, like last week.
Sure.
I know.
Yeah,
it's like.
Well, the thing is, he's been 3/4 done since 2013. Those pages were already. So about 150 pages were already done.
He's like that kid who promises the teacher that, yeah, next week I'll have the homework.
All right. Anyway, she's being serious now, so that was short-lived.
The channel went from about 5,000 subscribers at the beginning of 2016 to more than 500,000 now. Dan Olson, or Folding Ideas, has gone from about 2,000 to more than 200,000, and scores of new video essay channels like me, Big Joel, or Taylor J. Williams have started popping up. Unfortunately, quantity doesn't always equal quality, and sadly, a lot of what passes itself off as good faith media criticism.
Oh no, it's the good faith media criticism argument. You're not saying anything in good. You don't understand. You're evading the questions. You're not really sharing the actual essence of the show. You don't get it. You don't understand what the creator was going through. You're not addressing their struggle through life as they decided to make a Star Wars film or some nonsense that she's trying to say.
She could also be referring to the communists who have to claim everything's fascist, which is something we flipped with Tuesday because Bears wants to be on. So that's why we're doing this today, for anyone who's confused.
Yeah, well, this is one of the most annoying things I hear. We've heard it from detractors of ours. Most recently was from Pog. We're not arguing in good faith because we call them names. It's like, no, we can call you names and argue in good faith at the same time. We're very, very good at that. You know, if we call a spade, we could also say you're lying. You know, it's not hard. We just pay attention.
I'll joke about her being a woman all I want. I'm still going to listen to what she has to say.
Yeah, exactly. Like we could do both. We could be a dick, and we could point out what you're saying is factually incorrect or what actually happens in a story. It's not hard.
Or what you're
Can we be individual dicks?
Sure. We could be levels of dickness. That's totally cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
It's not. In particular, content like Cinema Sins, The Nostalgia Critic, and more recently, a lot of multi-hour video essays dedicated to
multi-hour. I wonder who that might be.
Dissecting certain shows end up doing more harm than they do good.
How? Who? To who are they hurting? What do you talk? What?
No. Before you
harm to who? Yeah, harm to whom is a question, but Cinema Sins is just bullshit.
He's just having a good time. Making funny videos saying, here's a dumb thing in a video I saw. I'll put a ding on the bell. And he goes on. And sometimes he talks about it.
If anything, I would call Mauler's dissections the most good favor of all. Because they go into minute detail and And this is something others don't do. He gives credit where credit is due. There is quite often just rather little of that.
My favorite example being him on the The Force Awakens, where Finn takes what's her face, Rey's hand, and Rey goes, "You don't need to hold my hand." And he breaks that down, saying, "Yeah, I was outraged to this too back when I originally watched it. But if you break it down, it makes sense from a character perspective. The reason why it feels forced is because this doesn't reflect in the rest of the movie."
Mm-hmm.
But on its own, it's a good scene.
All right.
On its own, many of these scenes are good.
Well,
the same goes for TLJ. Many of these scenes, you just by themselves are okay to watch or put in a trailer.
well, let's just
But
say
they don't make a movie altogether. They don't make a movie.
let's say that bad film criticism or bad media criticism is bad, and I don't know how, outside of morons listening to that other moron and going, "Oh, I agree with this moron." That's normal. Dumb people are going to listen to other dumb people at the same level because that's all they understand, and they nod their head going, "Oh, I thought the same way." That's fine. That's normal. It's the same with intelligent people. Oh, this intelligent person has found some scientific findings or did an experiment or is seeing the same thing I'm seeing, and we talk about this, the color blue. Oh, this color blue in this film is the same color blue as that color blue. Like, wow, you're right. Yeah, it's great. And that's fine. So I don't see how it's hurting anyone.
That's what I'm curious. She hasn't just said that it could potentially. No, she has made the definitive statement that it is hurting more than it is helping, which implies that it already implies a set of rules for how you make a video and in why you're making a video, that it needs to be for the benefit of the wider universe.
What is that?
So now I'm curious as to what her argument's going to be.
What is
I
good
want
or
to know
bad?
what the harm is.
Yeah, what is the actual good? Are we talking about good towards creative discussion about criticism? Because that's pretty much going to be an argument anyway. Even the people who agree on liking a show, they're going to disagree on the details. That's normal. So it's like saying, we saw Man of Steel, we all hate it, but there's like little things we like, and someone's like, "No, this is crap." And, "No, I kind of like that scene." Like that's totally normal. So I don't see how YouTube videos that are an hour long or 1 minute long are inherently bad unless they get their facts wrong or they're spouting some ideological mumbo jumbo when they should be talking about what's actually in the film or the media.
Yeah, just as I say, Buffy is trash, but it has a few good episodes.
A lot of good ideas in Buffy, yeah, but it's very
But actual good episodes, good, truly good, and not B-movie trash.
well.
With soap opera level writing.
It's all B movie trash. That's the point. But you can enjoy it for what it's worth, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
compared to other shows.
But you can't say it's objectively good because that's not even what it's meant to be.
Right.
But you have these outstanding, truly good episodes where the musical episode, the silent episode, which is an interesting contrast, and the episode where Buffy's mom dies, because it's shot in a completely different way. There's a completely different tone. It is dead serious. The entire thing, even the vampire horror part, is dead serious. If the entire show had been like that, it would have made an even greater impact, I'd say. It would have had a real World of Darkness feeling.
All right.
So if it had been like a German comedy, you would have liked it.
Were you watching with us when I showed German comedy movies?
Oh.
No.
Well, here's the Giga Chad. Hey, Giga Chad. I know you were supposed to write Cinema Sins, but you write CUNEMA Sins. So I don't know what the hell that word is. Reviewing Schindler's List is like a wooden door or a gas chamber. Come on, man.
That's a deep one.
I wonder, has he actually made a video on Schindler's List?
Oh, who knows? Also, I wonder if Sarah mentioning Lindsay Ellis has anything to do with them being on the same political spectrum both of them have been stalked by Quentin. What? Is Quentin really thirsty for a girlfriend? Does he have one yet?
We know he has a fan.
Oh.
Well, I mean, he has a doll, but I wouldn't call it like doll in the nickname. I mean a literal blow-up doll.
Okay.
Oh, the coward. CinemaSins has not made a video on Schindler's List.
Okay. Well, we have Sarah, we have Jenny, and we have Lindsay. So they're all very similar. Okay. Good enough.
With their powers combined, they will become women.
The triad of dumb ideas regarding critics on YouTube, I guess. I don't know.
But Lala, you may be right. Buffy might be better as a German comedy.
Okay.
I said that if it was like a German comedy, you would like it. And I would probably like it too.
Now we need a German director to make a vampire chick flick that's corny and has bad practical effects. Okay.
Yeah, just give it to the guy who made Bang Boom Bang.
Oh, they already got a guy? Never mind. All right.
No, I just say give it to that guy.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
I know this is probably pretty ironic coming from the person who likes to make videos complaining about certain TV shows for a living, especially because
Wait, this is your job?
Well, she has 1 million subs, so that's why she makes money from her bedroom.
I guess.
You know, dreamy girl.
She must be really, really good at her job if she has 1 million subs.
I too like to use attention-grabbing titles and thumbnails to encourage people to
Oh, so you're
also a girl, so you get more subs anyway.
So you're admitting to lying. That's great. That's fantastic.
Well,
watch my videos.
I'm not gonna critique her too much, besides the fact that she's flat as a cutting board. But I will mention the bear in the background is Monokuma, a infamously sociopathic, even psychotic and manipulative bear that makes people kill each other.
Yeah.
It is quite interesting that all the worst women on YouTube always have that bear somewhere in their bedroom.
Well, Lindsay Ellis has disappearing ketchup bottles, so it could be blood. I don't know.
Lalle, you are aware that the major audience of true crime shows is also women. Women are obsessed with sociopathy and psychopathy.
I like to kill people. Wait, no, I like listening about people killing people.
They all seem to want to know how to maniacally psycho-kill people.
Yeah.
For some reason. For some inexplicable reason.
I'm not going to go down that route because that's an entire can of worms in and of themselves, but I would like to put a note here, sticky note on that, and say that these women tend to be obsessed with the people that pull it off rather than the act in and of itself.
Yeah, well, she's complaining on behalf of the virtue that she is the complainer. Like, hey, I realize I'm the thing that does the thing, but my version is better. It's like, okay, if you say so. Let's see why that is.
Videos, and it's very possible that some of my own videos have fallen into some of the traps that I'm going to talk about here.
Okay.
I mean, I like to think the stuff I make is, analytical and good, but I'm not discounting the possibility.
Just because it's analytical doesn't mean it's good, and just because it's good doesn't mean it's analytical.
At least she's capable of some reflection.
She is self-aware of what she's doing. That's basic intelligence. I think that's nice, but that doesn't prove anything to me.
Smart, that's more than we get from all these commies.
Okay, I guess. I'm trying to evaluate other people I don't want to think about, but I guess that's true.
So woman ranks higher than communist mentally.
Yeah, she's probably one of them as well, so who knows? I don't know yet. Anyway.
That it isn't always. Along a similar vein, I'm also not saying that the people who create bad media criticism are bad people, just that the content they create isn't always good.
Okay. The people that lie, I would say, are bad people. And
yes.
They also are communist or ideologues, and they attack other people who disagree with them just because they have different opinions. Okay? And they call us a bunch of names, Critical Drinker a bunch of names just because he's popular. The same deal. And
remember,
all
these same people shat on Drinker because his book was selling well.
Yeah, he's living the dream. He's produced 3 or 4 books in a series. He's well known, and he has a lot of good funny videos, less than 10 minutes roughly, on popular stuff that people watch and go, oh yeah, I agree with that. Quick take. He's easy to digest as opposed to Mahler, which takes hours. So
honestly, the last part of his Force Awakens review, it just felt like an hour. Like time was flying. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It was 6 hours long, but it didn't feel like it. It's great. I don't know how that is good content.
Okay.
It's like how great movies always feel like they're an hour long, and then you look at a timestamp and it says, oh, 2.5 hours long.
I just heard the latest number for the Avatar film coming out from James Cameron. It's over 3 hours.
Okay.
It's like, thanks, James.
That's a lot of content that I'm not going to consume. Thanks.
That's a
3 hours of shiny moving things on screen.
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy the IMAX experience with the recliners, so you can get a good rest in between intermissions.
No, Smud, you see, in order to actually experience the film, you have to purchase your own theater, but it has to be the IMAX version, so that way you can actually see the thing, because otherwise you get this crappy version on DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah,
you have to build your own IMAX in your garden to be able to watch the movie.
Yeah, the deluxe edition comes with like a holographic projector or something.
I love the idea that you have to go outside to get immersed within the Avatar universe. No, it's just so you can see what's going on the screen because all of it's dark to hide the bad CGI.
Yeah, and it took how many years? 15, 16? I don't remember how long it took to make the first one, but oh my god, dude. Get on with it.
However long it took for Dances with Wolves to come out.
Look, at least he's dedicated.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
That's something others aren't. I forgot what I wanted to say about her right now. Damn it.
All right, here's the giggle Chad? Okay. CinemaSins, a swimming pool in a death camp? Come on, man. I'm going to say it. Both Spike and Angel were boxing below their weight class when they simped after Buffy. Also, the vamps got disintegrated from their chests being touched by dull pieces of wood. Yeah, it's kind of goofy how the vampires die instantly.
And some are unkillable unless the scene demands it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The super consistency is so great.
Yeah, I know. It's B movie crap. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, and somehow by the end of season 3, still nobody's is running around in that school with basic equipment of a cross, a stake or 3, and some holy water. Like Sunnydale should, at that point where everybody knows about this shit, should have a running economy based on holy water sales.
Yeah, there should be a whole regiment of police officers that have anti-vampire, anti-ghost, anti-whatever supernatural forces.
Yeah. Yeah, and the government should just tell people, hey, yeah, we know this shit is going on here. Can you please not tell the rest of the world because we're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on?
They should have their own housing organization.
Yeah, something. And then outside, somehow you have these super casinos with demons running around that everybody knows about, and at the same time, half the population doesn't know anything is going on, and there's a masquerade or something, and it doesn't make sense.
See, that would make a hell of a lot more sense if there was a masquerade, if there was a guy in charge, and he's like this ancient dude in control of all these organizations. No one knows who he is. And you all get these clues every show that maybe there is some weird coterie no one knows about. That would be cool. And then there's building up to the end of the show where they, I don't know, reveal it. Sure, why not? That would have made some sense because it at least explains this bizarre existence of all these supernatural things happening. And that's kind of the problem. Well, it's not really a problem with the supernatural show because there's so much shit in there that just pops out of the woodwork. You're like, okay. That's too much, but they do it in a very selective way. Whereas, Death pops up, but he doesn't make a big event about it. He doesn't prance around like a Power Ranger. he just eats at a bar and talks to someone so he could do something for him. There's very, very limited use of magic and supernatural forces. But then there's like crazy shit with, Lucifer and the angels and doing all kinds of nonsense. But anyway, those are other shows. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, we're barely 2 minutes in, and we keep going back to Buffy.
Yeah, I know. We got to stop doing that. Anyway.
I'm just pissed that I was recommended Buffy as being an awesome show, and then I watched it and I want to kill myself.
Okay.
At least just instead of saying it's an awesome show, just say it's a fun show.
Yeah, you can see it as a fun show, but it's not good.
Yeah.
It's
Like-
rose tinted nostalgia B-movie stuff that you can enjoy if you like Red Letter Media, who likes to watch trash movies. Then you will super enjoy Buffy.
Yeah, like Xena and Hercules. Those are fun shows, but they're stupid. So
yeah.
Anyway.
What I primarily want to talk about is bad faith criticism of media and why I think it's ultimately harmful to the, in my opinion, good idea.
Oh boy, it's one of these, in my opinion.
Oh, Mahler is arguing in bad faith because he spent extra number of hours going into visceral detail on everything in the film.
He talked about Captain Marvel for an hour and a half, and the movie is 2.5 hours. Imagine.
Unless they're arguing that you inherently hate something first off before making an opinion, when clearly that's not the case. And they can't divorce the concept that they're wrong and they're actually having a natural reaction to a bad film and not understanding why. Because, it's a female lead, it must be good.
And then thinking, these guys saw a female lead and thought it was automatically garbage.
Oh.
Is this a passive-aggressive video?
I think anyone who uses this sentence where you are arguing in bad faith, in my opinion. Yeah, that's...
You are a fascist, in my opinion.
You are using logic, in my opinion, in bad faith. It's like, what?
In my opinion.
Explain yourself.
How is logic in bad faith? I don't get it, but anyway.
This reminded me of Jim Sterling, where he said that you cannot be objective in a critique.
Really?
Yeah, if you want to make objective statements about something, it can only be describing a genre of something.
What?
And stating stuff like how long it is.
I'm not understanding a word of what he...
Well, Jim is a retard who doesn't know how a thermometer works.
I can only describe a genre, which is a collection of ideas of the thing you actually watch. So if you watch one Western, you say, Westerns have cowboys in them. Then you watch another Western, Westerns have cows in them. You watch another Western, Western have women in dresses. Like you just keep going and going until you watch every genre film.
They have trains. Many Westerns have trains.
And you just keep, that's all it is. It's just a collection of all your experiences. It's all objective.
Which means Hideaki Anno movies are Westerns.
Oh, yeah. Right. Sure. Okay.
So first of all, how did we get here?
Oh, no.
Oh, God. We really are in 2018. We need a history of YouTube media criticism for her to call out the people she dislikes.
Well,
can we go back to the 80s, please?
Yeah, here's
the beginning.
Here's Gingaman. I don't know why you're giving me money, Gingaman. You're on the panel, but thank you.
I thought that was my job.
It's called love.
You guys are weird. I don't know. You want to talk development hell? No. The first Spider-Man movie took just shy of 25 years to make. Okay. With reasons ranging from Marvel's breakup with Toei to James Cameron's canceled R-rated pitch. Oh, my God. To Marvel's bankruptcy and eventual merger with Toy Biz. All right, that's a lot of information there, Gingaman, that only you would know.
Wow.
Yeah, I do know it took a while to make the first superhero movie, like good one, and it ended up being Blade for whatever reason. That one that was popular. That was like, ooh.
Wasn't Spawn before?
That wasn't a big name. Image Comics, I think it was. So Todd McFarlane. So I hard to say. But I do know Blade's the one that
I can imagine that Blade was more popular.
Yeah, I'm trying to base it off what was mostly known, because the Spawn film was okay. It had some amazing acting and weird cosmetics. That was cool, but it was a goofy film. Blade was a bit in the same vein. Obviously, it's violent, but you could tell it's like, all right, Wesley Snipes. They got some weird.
Blade is easier to digest.
If you try watching it, you're like, what the hell is going on with this crazy vampire blood shit going all around? Yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, it is easier to grasp. It is based off a comic, and it's from the big two, which is Marvel or DC. So,
well, it's based on a comic doesn't mean it's necessarily easy to digest.
Yeah, Blade is not a big.
Because if you say Watchmen, it's also based on a comic.
Oh God,
not necessarily easy to digest.
Don't even bother watching the Watchmen.
If you made an actual Lucifer show or movie, or Sandman,
yeah, well,
it wouldn't be easy to digest.
It is, even the one that we got is hard to digest because all this stuff is happening, and then all of a sudden, gay people everywhere. You're like, what the freaking hell is happening? So
makes no sense.
Yeah, so your brain is like, oh, this is fantasy, and all of a sudden, reality. Back in the 1920s, gay people were like making out like crazy. Like, what the?
Which is one of the reasons the Nazis got to power, because a lot of people were grossed out by that and thought, hey, that party really hates those degenerates. Let's vote for them.
Oh,
and then the Holocaust happened.
That was my favorite part of the Sandman TV show, was when they talked about how the gay people created Hitler. Let's go back to the retro video, shall we?
Yeah, I guess.
Criticisms of various films, TV shows, games, and podcasts on YouTube are not new. In fact, they've existed ever since the platform did. And if you follow any history of YouTube, most people...
I love her hand motions. It's like she's trying to paint a picture with like her fingers. It's great.
It's the sort of hand motions that seem to be learned.
Yeah.
So because the way it's in the frame and she seems to hold her hands up a bit, what is it, tense, strained?
I don't.
It's not. Yeah. It's not the natural stuff that happens.
Yeah.
She seems cramped up with it. But that's just my opinion.
Okay.
We'll cite the Angry Video Game Nerd as one of the first YouTube content creators to bring media criticism into the collective consciousness.
Are you kidding me? Right? What the collective consciousness of the 19?
What did she just say?
Of 2008? The Angry Video Game Nerd somehow added to the video game criticism world. That
pretty sure it's just
in general, or can I hear that again, please?
Oh God, sure.
The platform did, and if you follow any history of YouTube, most people will cite the Angry Video Game Nerd as one of the first YouTube content creators to bring media criticism into the collective consciousness of mainstream YouTube.
Stop. Okay. Into mainstream YouTube. That's a very specific thing. Because it first sounded as if she was talking about media criticism in general.
Right.
And
this is a show. If you guys don't know the Angry Video Game Nerd, I think everyone does, but he does overtly aggressive or angry rants on really hard Nintendo games back in his childhood. So it's over the top, goofy, silly, and sometimes justified because some of those games are really hard. But I don't think that's like
good times.
The natural reaction to like Ninja Gaiden or Dig Dug or whatever. That's just his personal feelings for fun. He's doing this for fun. Mm-hmm. So I have fond memories of my Nintendo experiences. Even the hard games, because those were really cool. That's why you played them. They were so difficult. Like, how do I be perfect? Because Mega Man is a hard game to play, the original. So yeah.
There were lots of generally lots of fun video game reviewers at the time, but not everything in video game form. There was a very good German video game reviewer who reviewed MMORPGs. And he only did so by writing stuff on his website. And they were very funny articles, and quite long. But you needed to know he exists. Because he wasn't advertised anywhere. He was just doing this for fun. It is absolutely great content. And at the same time, it is quite fair. Imagine a lighter version of Sev Sintar in written form.
Yeah, but we're comparing one of the most popular gaming consoles of the 80s, or the first that really got mainstream appeal with the Super Mario package. Like you bought the NES and it came with Super Mario, and sometimes if you bought the bigger one, it was with the Power Pad, and you had NES Olympics or whatever it was called. Like that was a huge deal. That sold the most units imaginable for the past, well, at that time, for the next 23 years. No. Before Super Mario Bros. 3, that was the most sold, I think. So this was a huge thing. Everyone knew about it compared to like a guy reviewing like EVE Online or other MMOs. Like it's a very niche audience. So you're comparing something that everyone knew from the 80s, and now only a few people knew by playing MMOs. So.
Oh, that guy it wasn't about. You didn't need to know MMOs to enjoy those reviews.
Right, but that's what.
And he was covering very obscure ones that nobody knew about.
But that's how you would get to find out about him, because you wouldn't otherwise have discovered him.
Maybe it's also, just on. Hey, look, here's funny video game review. Because back then there were such things as printed video game magazines that wrote articles that you could read and that had actual journalistic value.
Yeah, we still have those. I read one back in 2017.
Cool.
That's 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was
It's half a decade ago.
All right.
It's basically the 70s.
But yeah, speaking of the 70s, even if you want to argue that the idea of combining comedy and criticism, Mystery Science Theater 3000 came out in the 80s. If you want to go with the idea that this isn't a basic thing that's been happening since at least Greek and Roman times.
Yeah, this is the problem with people who defend like Dunkey on his video game opinions. Like, well, he's just being funny. He's not being serious. It's like, no, he's being serious. And then sometimes he's being funny. And you could pick apart his tone very easily. It's not difficult. So when he likes The Last of Us Part 2, it's like, yeah, he does like it. He really enjoys it.
Also, people desperately defend Donkey because they don't know who Donkey is. This is the guy that said that, he was being shit on by the company of Riot Games because he got banned from Ranked because he told someone that he hopes he gets killed in the streets and shot several times.
Well, Dunkey's now starting his own game studio, so I'm sure he'll have his own opportunities to have people tell him off. So who knows what he's going to be up to. Anyway.
In 2006, shortly after YouTube was created, James Rolfe started posting videos where he would play this easily angered, bitter guy ranting about various video games. And this is an interesting case. This is a guy who, in his early videos, was definitely playing a character. In these videos, the nerd was the butt of the joke. The intention was to laugh at this pathetic guy getting overly offended about old video games.
Oh, this pathetic guy?
Pathetic guy that lives in his own house, has his own stuff, has his own car, has the time to talk about these things.
Not the best way to describe him.
Woman.
Yeah, that's not the best way to describe a guy you're trying to have a history lesson on. Holy hell.
When's it appropriate to say, what a pathetic woman?
Apparently not, because then we'd be just as bad as her, but we'd have reason why. So I don't know.
Just generally, when would it be appropriate to say, what a pathetic girl?
Yeah, well.
What are the lows of a woman?
Yeah, what are the rules? Because apparently you can always say this about any guy, but when can you say it about a girl?
Anyway.
But a strange thing started happening. People took his reviews seriously. They liked him. Pretty soon, Rolfe started making serious reviews of video games.
Bro, this is like in 2017, my guy.
I don't think
Holy
people.
shit.
I don't think people took his ranting seriously, but his frustration over certain parts of the game, like when he's playing, what's that crazy dungeon game where you're that knight and you take one hit, your armor flies off, and then you take
Ghost and Goblins.
like one of the hardest games on the NES. Like that's a frustrating game. We understand where he's coming from, but we don't take him seriously. It's just, we get where he's coming from. We might have even played that game to the end or tried to, and it's almost impossible to do so.
Also, he didn't drop the idea of being he didn't drop the extreme character. He never really dropped it, to be honest. But he didn't drop the heavy exaggeration of the character until his movie. After which he said that he was not going to do the show anymore. That was the point of the ET review. Was that was going to be his last thing. And even then, he only started...
Good capstone.
He only started buttering up, quote unquote, around, I'd say, 2013. Wasn't he started chilling out with the character? Because YouTube was changing their rules about advertisements?
I can't recall.
That is how soft censorship works. It coerces you, it nudges you, and thus destroys your actual product.
Yeah, I still don't think people were taking him seriously. They knew it was fun to watch him.
Yeah, just look at the number of pens he has in his pocket.
Yeah. Okay.
And sharing his genuine opinions. Not only that, but other YouTubers quickly started to imitate his format, even going so far as to steal specific jokes and criticisms verbatim. I won't talk about this too much, mainly because it's already been discussed. If you haven't seen it already, a YouTuber...
Why,
Hello, Quentin!
Why, if it isn't the usual suspect?
Why, if it isn't the devil himself?
Okay, let's just go.
That is such a pretentious place to put your Gundam because it is
That is not a
obscuring
Gundam!
It's not a Gundam?
It's a Transformer.
A
No, it's not.
Transformer? Sorry.
Okay, give
fuck?
me a moment. Give me a moment. I'll look it up.
Ah, yeah, I can see it's a Decepticon. Okay.
All right. Fair
Anyway, it's standing. It's obscuring the screen. Nobody in their right mind would put it there. He couldn't even hit the fucking full screen button. Maybe he's smart enough to hit F instead. But
Did he really copy?
To boast.
Did Quentin really copy the Angry Video Game Nerd though, or something?
I don't think he can. He get angry?
It's more than nostalgia critic-ish.
I don't know what inspired Quentin to do the things he does, but it's certainly not anything I could connect the dots to. Quentin is Quentin. Like, holy hell, dude.
And Quentin, that's not your color. I don't think that's any man's color. Just looks shit.
Peach?
Rose?
I don't know.
I want to say that's the Macross suit, but I'm not seeing the jet wing. Unless he spread them out. No, wait, he did. Yeah, so it is Macross.
That's Macross? Okay.
Yeah, I could have
Macross
sworn
suit.
I've seen that before. It has the... Well, it looks like something Macross related. Because it has the white with the red lines, and then it has the cockpit on the chest.
Well, maybe we could ask Quentin for his Blue's Clues on where the Macross bot is.
Were we both wrong?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh,
damn.
Anyway, let's just get on with it. Here is JS. Thank you, JS. So here's the thing. I effing hate Trump. Oh, okay.
So here's the dig. I fucking hate Trump. Barely. Nothing goes in that round.
I fucking hate honey.
All right.
I hate him. I hate honey.
Let's hear her critique of Quentin.
A very interesting video about the Angry Video Game Nerd's influence over YouTube as a whole, and I'll link it below. A year later, a similar creator, ostensibly playing an angry character, Doug Walker, or the Nostalgia Critic, surfaced. His videos were similarly focused on getting sad over nostalgic content, the main difference being that he primarily focused on movies. Once again, a similar theme started to surface. He initially chose to really separate himself from his character, making it clear that the nostalgia critic was a pathetic nerd who got angry over nothing. But
around the same time, he started becoming one with his character due to YouTube's rules. Just thought that was interesting.
And thus
as
the
his
fake
content became more
persona
and more
took
popular,
over,
his
took
videos
control.
became more about sharing his genuine thoughts. In fact, nowadays he hosts content on YouTube that's just him and his brother watching movies for the first time and authentically reacting to them. And oftentimes his initial reactions end up making their way into the nostalgia critic reviews, albeit in a more grating tone of voice. So while we
You should
initially
just go
got these
bald.
reviewers
Yeah, I was about to say something about his hair. I'm like, yeah, just...
He did go bald.
Also, in a more grating tone of voice, woman, please, don't talk about other people's voices whilst you sound like Chipmunk.
I'm not sure where she's going with this. She's just saying, hey, there's this really popular guy who did this. Then there's another guy who did that. And there's this other guy. It's like, and where are we going with this? Because they're...
deliberately play easily angered characters who you were clearly not supposed
See,
to
he
agree
did go
with.
bald.
The line between what the character thinks and what the creator thinks became a lot more blurred until you got
No. Okay, this is the first thing you get wrong, definitely. Just because these characters are angry or flip out at something doesn't mean that you should not agree with them because of that. That's just your woman nonsense going on, where that is triggered by, oh, something looks violent, it must be bad, we must stop the kids from rough and tumble play because that's actual violence, when it's really just play fighting. Because these characters can get angry at legitimate stuff and thereby allow us to vent through them because we have the same frustrations with the thing.
I see nothing wrong with people putting on an act or a character to entertain people, to tell the story they want to tell, whether they're talking about a video game or a movie or a piece of music. It's fine. I don't care. That's just part of the experience. It's why you watch these guys. It's not just, I think this. Some people put music, some people put flashy graphics. Whatever their thing is, that's fine. That's why you watch them. I don't think that obstructs from the message. I really don't.
a sort of review style that was just an angry guy sharing his genuine negative opinions about media, but like with a lot of screaming and swearing. And this review style, angry man screams about how terrible things are, did dominate YouTube for a long time. That's not to say that channels based on thoughtful critiques of various forms of media didn't exist. You did have some similar channels who were affiliated with Channel Awesome that made analytical content. I mean,
No.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Oh my god!
What is
okay,
this?
woman, please. I understand it is hard for you because you're biologically tied to wanting to lie. But please, reviewers are a thing. They have been a thing since YouTube started.
I can't.
How IGN and Rooster Teeth got off their feet.
I can't disconnect what they're saying from their emotional reaction. It's impossible. The information from their mouth makes no logical sense. I can't fathom what they could possibly be thinking because they're playing a character. It's so difficult for my brain to fathom. Like, okay.
When did GameStar move to YouTube? Let's see. Stop. Don't make noises.
Lindsay Ellis started making videos in 2008, albeit not remotely at the same analytical level as her videos today. But with a few notable...
She's not analyzing anything. She's a retarded projecting narcissist. Probably borderline.
Who the hell
And
is
a wine aunt.
Also, yeah, she wasn't making analytical stuff back in the day, and she's not really good at making analytical stuff today. Because during the time, she wasn't hired for her qualities of video making. She was hired for a quality of identifying and examining a certain man's cock, okay?
Well, this person looks like she's in jail or something. I don't know what happened to her.
I don't know who this person is.
Yeah.
Receptions like Beyond the Trailer, these YouTubers were not the ones receiving the most clout. Rather, critics who were the most popular pre-2010 did largely fit into the angry screaming dude mold, and aspiring critics mostly imitated them. YouTube's increase in popularity, especially in early 2010, saw a notable increase in the diversity of review content. This is when a lot of channels who are now...
So you are not aware of the video game magazines that moved to YouTube as well? And put out serious video game review content there. You're not aware of those.
Again, I'll just keep referring to Rooster Teeth being a massive fucking content bed during this period.
Just as an example, GameStar is a giant German one. Moved to YouTube in 2009. Currently 1.2 million. No, that's views. How many? 1.4 million subscribers. And that's a German channel.
Yeah, there's all kinds of groups like that. Even G4 TV was a thing from cable. Now it was on YouTube, then it lost, and it came back, then it lost again. So yeah, these things happen a lot. Video game trailers was a big thing, or game trailers. I remember those guys. Now they're Easy Allies. They're on YouTube still. So there's all kinds of these groups. You recognize the voice, you see the face, like, okay, yeah, the same people doing the same thing.
I still think that it's so disingenuous to say that, oh yeah, this is the mold. Bro, I lived through this period of time. There were so many different creators, men and women alike. They had all kinds of different takes and all kinds of different ways of conveying their information to you and their thoughts to you. It wasn't just... Also, the main reason why people kept shouting into their camera, you know why that was? Because YouTube's rules for showcasing media was even more draconian than they are today. That's why, what was it called? That guy with the glasses started posting all their videos on the channel with a reference video that's like 5 minutes long, if even that. There's a compilation of various parts of the videos because they weren't allowed to show the clips that they had on YouTube. He has a very early on video on the YouTube channel of Channel Awesome, or I think it's in a Strategy Critic, where he straight up says on a black screen, yeah, I cannot show these clips even if they're 4 seconds long because somebody is going to pull it down. So I'm having a reference link here for anyone that actually wants to watch the video.
Okay.
Sad times.
Household names began to make videos. Among others, CinemaSins, Screen Rant, Ralph the Movie Maker, and The Black Nerd began regularly uploading reviews, all using different styles and formats. Some of these worked, and some of these did not. While the angry screaming dude style of content did continue to be popular, we also saw the rise in formats like 2 or 3 people sit down and talk about movies unscripted, or stylized reviews with original music and visuals. And one particular format that's recently taken the internet by storm is the video essay. It's hard to say exactly who was the first YouTube video essayist.
Also, why didn't she mention Red Letter Media?
Well, I think she was.
Did she or did she not?
I think she was referring to Red Letter Media.
She didn't say Red Letter Media. She said The Black Nerd.
Well, yeah, that's a...
Ralph the Movie Maker. Who?
Yeah, that's a bit obscure. Some of these names are pretty old.
Well, I mean, Ralph isn't really the brightest when it comes to so-called critic.
And Red Letter Media didn't move their videos to YouTube for a long time. They had it on their website.
Yeah.
I don't know where they hosted it exactly, but it wasn't YouTube.
But she started out by mentioning that guy with the glasses, who most of his videos were just referencing as mentioned earlier. So she obviously doesn't care about that.
We don't know who the first video essayist is, but you just showed something that could be considered.
Because the first YouTube videos that functioned as formalized essays read out loud over clips from whatever's being reviewed weren't yet calling themselves video essays. With that said, one of the earliest very popular people to use this format to criticize media was the Nerdwriter. Although his first video upload was over 7 years ago, his initial videos were primarily unscripted vlogs where he discussed his thoughts on various issues like Scientology and the Iraq War. Around late 2013, he started transitioning to scripted film reviews, still using the Facecam format without any supplementary materials to talk about movies like The Hobbit. Then, in May 2014, he made a video called The Mythic Potential of Comic Book Films, in which he discussed various comic book movies with visual and auditory accompaniment. From that moment on, all of his videos began to use this format to massive success. The Nerdwriter now has nearly 2.5 million subscribers, a far cry from his vlog days.
Because this is 2014, there's a 6 years difference.
I don't know.
I think she's mentioning him because she finds him sexy.
I don't know. They do essays. It's like, what do you think they were doing before? Do you think they were just ranting? There's no flow to the structure of experience this, and then here's my conclusion.
What's the difference between a review and an essay?
I don't know. They seem very similar to me.
When we talk about video essays, that's usually I think it's become a derogatory term, because what we see when we see video essays is garbage that makes no sense, and it is just there to bedazzle your brain into believing it's watching something smart when there's actually nothing there.
Yeah, when we watch the Dragon Ball Z guy who just likes Goku, and he's going to keep saying how smart Goku is without defining the word first, and then... Hello?
There you go. You cut out for a good bit.
Just like Goku.
Sorry. All right, let's keep going.
Another YouTube channel, Every Frame a Painting, began using the same format around the same time. The channel was created by two friends.
Every Frame a Painting. All right, that's the thing.
Taylor Ramos and Tony Zhou. Their first video, analyzing the 2009 film Mother, was posted in April 2014. Their videos began incorporating music by May. These videos...
They put music in their videos? I've never heard of that before. All right.
It's like we're inventing the wheel.
Here's Tempest. Thank you, sir. Thinking back to what she said about Angry Video Game Nerve, is she implying he is the first person to be angry on the internet? What was that guy? What's next? Do you guys remember
Cliff Jablonski.
He was just a guy ranting for a minute, and he was screaming at the camera. And at the end of his video, he would always say, "What's next? What's next? What's next?" And you see him breathing heavily for 10 seconds because he was so tired from screaming. And it was everything. It wasn't just politics. It was just like whatever he felt angry about.
We had a German stand-up comedian, Serdar Somuncu, who was his podcast was driving in his car around in his car in Berlin, shouting and screaming because the traffic made him angry, so he could vent better about everyday news. It was great.
He's talking about a video from 2014. God, I just... please.
Well,
stop.
She's getting into the essayist format. I don't know why, but okay.
Stop
whatever.
treating this like it's the invention of the goddamn wheel, as Whisp mentioned before.
Yeah. Okay.
Was focused primarily on the technical elements of filmmaking, like different ways to visually portray text messages on screen or how to best use music to portray emotion. Although their last video was posted in September 2016, and they've officially announced
music to convey emotion.
It's
one of the oldest things in film. It's also deliberately manipulative if you, for example, watch documentaries or the news. When the news is using background music, it's always to manipulate you. Well, always, without exception.
We learned it with Maggie May many times, but the piano music tends to pop in a lot when they're talking about something serious.
I mean, I like piano, but I don't like when these people use it. Don't fuck with the piano.
I only like it when I'm eating at restaurants. Okay.
The end to their channel, the format popularized by these two channels remains massively successful, and Every Frame a Painting still boasts 1.5 million subscribers despite its 2-year-long inactivity. Although it's doubtful that these two channels were the first people to ever create YouTube video essays, they were some of the most popular in the format's early days. From there, many channels followed the video essay craze. Now You See It started his channel and began creating videos in June 2015. Lindsay Ellis made her first video.
You were making this video in 2018. Stop talking about this like it's ancient history.
So the idea of recording a script in the essay format is so basic. Like, I don't care when it was started. It doesn't matter if it was recorded with audio, with a video. People have been writing essays for hundreds of years.
It's like a podcast with pictures.
It's all it is. You have some video editing. You got some images on the screen. You got some music. I don't care. Whatever works.
Wait, what the hell? It says nostalgic on one of the thumbnails, but Nostalgia Woman in the actual video title. Make up your mind.
Oh.
But 7 minutes and 30 seconds into a 26-minute video, and she hasn't gotten to her fucking point yet.
I forgot what the point is she was trying to make.
Bad media criticism.
Lindsay Ellis is on the screen. What more do you want?
No.
You're not wrong.
Essay in April 2016. This was when her channel began to grow into the double digits, and Folding Ideas posted his first video essay in August.
The double digits?
I think I remember that guy. Oh, it's that idiot. God, we never covered him, did we?
Her How do you measure the double digits on YouTube?
Fucking who?
Oh god.
Double thousands is what she means, I think.
Hope.
Oh my god, look! That thing. Oh, okay.
I remember him when he was covered on EFAB. This guy is just retarded.
Oh.
I just realized.
It's just absolutely dumb.
My YouTube account technically is in the double digits. So do I count now? Do I count as a video essayist?
Oh.
Because I have the double digits?
Alright.
I have bigger double digits than you.
Exactly.
We having a contest here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
2016, once again receiving a massive boost in followers. Most of these essays primarily focused on either the usage of specific filming and editing techniques to achieve
You
certain
just said
effects in
that.
film, overarching trends in several films, or things we may not have noticed
This
about
is
specific
no.
films.
This is show like if you watch these films or these videos are mostly about like no. Everyone's individualistic. This guy has his own channel for certain reasons. He has certain tastes and certain sensitivities that other people don't have. We get it. What's your point?
They started using editing techniques to achieve a certain effect. Please, stop talking. Just get to your point.
Now she must wave her fingers around so that her nail polish finally dries.
This is not YouTube in the early 2000s where you need to get your video above 5 minutes or hell, even 10 minutes from 2018. Your video is 26 minutes long. You can cut these 8 minutes and still be at like 8 or 17 minutes. You would still be good. Please.
From when's this video?
4 years ago.
So that would be 2 years from then is 6 years.
It's December 2018.
This is laughable.
Like Inglourious Bastards or Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, you're killing you bitch! You killed Law. Look at him. He's choking.
Oh god, why would you, in the ever-living fuck, why would you ever compare Phantom of the Opera to Inglourious Bastards? We're talking about film criticism.
I don't know, but this is a great frame to notice the asymmetricality of her face.
I want her to get to a point. I'm just waiting for some reason why she's giving us a history of this nonsense.
Yeah, and just in case you complain that I'm just complaining about the looks going on here, that's because there's no content.
Hang on, when did the film come out? Was there ever a film of the Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah, they made a musical out of it.
Hang on, 2004. Okay, when did Inglourious Bastards come out? Let's do this. Let's just pretend there is comparison to be found here. 2009. So she talks about videos for 2014 while talking December of 2018 like it's ancient history, and then compares by the same logic a movie for 2004 to a movie that came out in 2009 that would then also be ancient history in comparison. Just be like comparing Ruby to the Iliad. There's no reason for you to do that.
I can't escape.
Oh god!
God
Sorry,
damn it!
just giving me an aneurysm, and she's still not at her point yet.
All right, let's do this.
The first really popular video essays that were primarily about criticizing those films and explaining why certain aspects didn't really work were Lindsay Ellis's. Again, that's not to say she was the first person.
Oh, so we're crediting Lindsay Ellis now as the one that got popular doing this, and not, you know...
She's just a fangirl of Lindsay Ellis?
If she's bringing her up again for some purpose, I really want to know why, because this is getting nowhere.
Fangirl.
to do it, but she was definitely one of the first people to get really popular doing it.
Don't care.
Now, like I said, videos explaining why certain things were bad have existed since YouTube did. We have things like Cinema Sins and the Nostalgia Critic.
Okay.
Oh, okay, one of those started around the time that YouTube existed. CinemaSins did not. Please find other references.
Complaining that things are bad is what critics do. They've existed since media existed. What's the buddy of Ebert that he did a show with?
Cisco.
Yeah. They did that. Ooh.
All right.
But
Fucking
this
hell.
format, an analytical one that was presented in the same style as a formalized essay, was relatively new. Once again, this kicked off a trend of heavily critical video essays, which brings me to one video in particular that I want to talk about.
Oh.
Sherlock is Garbage and Here's Why is a video essay posted in May 2017 by game critic and leftist YouTuber HBomberGuy.
Oh.
It's nearly 2 hours long, and it goes into an exhaustive list of the various problems associated with the popular BBC show Sherlock. I definitely found myself disagreeing with certain aspects of the video, but on the whole, it's a well-researched video that makes several legitimate points about issues with the show. Even if I don't fully agree with every criticism he mentions, I think it's a well-made attempt to engage in good faith with a show he dislikes, and I don't have
HBomberGuy
anything
engages
negative
in
to
good
say about
faith.
it.
Not really.
I like that she admit that she acknowledges that he's a leftist.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny because I never watched it. I've read all of Sherlock Holmes. I have no interest in watching a criticism of the BBC Sherlock because it's stupid. Maybe the first season's fun, but after that, it just goes off the rails to La La Land.
Mm-hmm.
So, good for you. You like a thing.
I mean, HBomberGuy's not really that much of a good critic. He
Yeah, but-
literally had a video.
But she's just saying, oh, it's 2 hours long. It's like, and I sort of disagree with it. And where are you going with this?
I mean, I could understand if she brought up his Ruby video where nothing happens throughout the whole video of just
Fuck.
where he goes, oh, you're covering the first 3 bombs. Okay. And then he just talks about something else instead of the actual thing.
Also, around the same time, HBomberGuy made his In Defense of Dark Souls 2 video. So don't go giving him too much credit now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
If
two
HBomberGuy is your example of a good faith critique, I want to know what your example of a bad faith critique is. Because you have to set the bar at a very strange place.
I do not think he's good faith if you make a pointless video. Like
Yeah.
a bad video.
All right.
Do not tempt her. Do not tempt her.
Here is the Giga Chad. Hey, Giga Chad, how's it going? Remember the time HBomberGuy's friend raped a guy and then he covered for him? Fun
Jesus.
times. Also, her whole video has been, you see in 2012 when Doug Walker uploaded a video of his colonoscopy, this paved the way for colon inspection vids on YouTube. I don't know where she's going with any of this. She's just giving a history like this is what happened in 2010 and this is what happened in 2011. It's like, great.
Once she get to the point of the bad media criticism,
All she did so far the past minute was say HBomberGuy did a good faith video about the show and I disagree with it. It's like, fine. How is it good faith? Because he researched it? Is that it? I could research the shit out of a video or a series or a movie and have a bad faith argument. What is your point? What are you trying to accomplish here?
The video currently has nearly 3 million views, and just like the angry video game nerd of days of old, it's inspired several copycats.
So,
Those are less good. As far as I
No,
can
it's
find,
not.
the first use
Copying
of
that
the
guy
blank
is
is garbage
not
and here's why
smart.
YouTube format originated with HBomberGuy. The first time he used it was in a video game review. Although that one actually has more views than his Sherlock video, it was only after the Sherlock review came out that people really started to imitate this title.
wait a second. So, you're saying he's just another angry dude on YouTube, but he also has longer video reviews that you like. Is that it? This is what we've been spending the past 9.5 minutes of a video looking at? You disagree with some critics and you like others? What?
I mean, thanks, Chad, for mentioning it. Has she ever watched Matthew Matosis? Because that is proper.
Yeah, but that's
how
video
you
games.
how you review and comment on video games.
Yeah, but she doesn't.
and
like video games.
extrapolate from there.
All right. Tyler Preston. Hey, Tyler. Oh, Tyler, I thought you were in the chat. Anyway, speaking of shows you don't like, Wisp, why don't you and Smud do a Smud Talk talking about what you do and don't like about Buffy and Angel? No problem. Also, what are your opinions on Evil Dead, another horror comedy franchise? That's a mixed bag. That's a bunch of films that are loosely connected. Even the most recent one was, that must have been 10 years ago. They remade it and they called it Evil Dead, and it was like this weird reinvention of it. Horror films are not for everyone. I don't really get scared that much, if at all, especially with cinema. So you have to actually like the genre and want to like go watch the Blair Witch Project and then watch the second one and see why it's not as good. And
Smud, you're making a mistake of comparing Evil Dead to
Blair Witch. Literally, the second movie has nothing to do with Blair Witch. And the title is just flat out false advertising.
Well, that's what I mean.
There's no Book of Shadows mentioned. There's no nothing.
Well, that's what I mean with the Evil Dead thing that came out like 10 years ago or whatever. I can't remember exactly when. It had nothing to do with what's his face, the guy with the chainsaw. Just completely other new characters. Yeah, nothing to do with Ash. Everything to do with reinventing, the same cabin in the woods sort of scenario and doing something with it. That's it. That's all it is. So,
I just see Blair Witch 2 as a bit of a comedy because how much it feels like a parody of the first film instead of an actual sequel.
Well, those are actual horror films with supernatural elements. Buffy and Angel are, I guess, soap operas with supernatural elements that are hokey
also
action.
Sort of horror comedy stuff.
Yeah.
That sadly through that breaks itself.
There's a lot of...
You can... What I meant with you can play Buffy and Angel straight and yet have subtle humor in it and situational humor.
Oh, yeah.
Between the lines, contextual humor, like Babylon 5 did. Serious show, but there are fun moments.
There are many
that are not like laugh track level fun.
Yeah, like the demon who could the demon singer who could see your future, and you can cut his head off and he's okay. Like stuff like that. It's like, okay, that's goofy.
Mm-hmm.
We get it. It's fine. And then it gets super serious. Always at the end of a show, like someone dies, or it's like, oh, boom, the last 2 seconds, and then to be continued. It's like, oh, this is. I'm watching 90210. I'm watching some stupid sitcom that has continuity. That's it. And it involves.
And at the end, these evil council characters that were running this evil law firm, those were really cool characters that again had this serious World of Darkness vibe, and it felt so wasted.
It felt small. I don't know what to call it. It's like you have this setup and you just sort of do it to have a plot, which is not too intricate, but not too simple. And it's just enough to make Angel look like the bad guy. That was a big thing of the last season. I think.
Some things just went pretentious, like the thing with the elevator at the end for Angel, and because the whole mythology of this world doesn't add up, doesn't make sense. And
then you have Illyria, who's like a god of gods, and you're just like, okay, this is going to screw shit up, and they power her down. It's like, okay, and it just keeps going from there. So there's a lot of weird stuff that
it's a lot of wasted potential.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think that's one of my main critiques of it.
Anyway, we could talk about that later.
Yeah. So chat suggested we make a small talk.
The year after his Sherlock video came out has seen dozens of videos imitating both his titling conventions and the actual structure of his content to varying degrees of success. Two of the most popular videos imitating both H-Bummer Guy's branding and his content are two videos by a YouTuber named Lily Orchard, respectively.
Oh, finally, we're in the actual beginning,
We're finally getting to her actually bitching about Lily Orchard, which was really popular around 2017, 2018, because...
What, Lily Orchard or ranting about Lily Orchard?
Ranting about her. Specifically the Steven Universe fans that never got over their butthurt, as opposed to in the chat. That video, that 5-hour-long video about Lily Orchard is 3 months ago.
I don't want to watch 5 hours about Steven Universe.
No, it's not even about Steven Universe at that point. It's just about cheating on Lily. Who, fair enough, Lily's a fucking cunt, absolutely. But please, you don't need to make 26-minute videos rambling about the history of YouTube analysis to talk about Lily Williams. You hate him, her, it.
Yeah, well.
God, we should have skipped to this timestamp.
Yeah, I know. But
how would we know that it's such a waste otherwise?
This is like, I went to the store. I wanted to buy celery. I didn't find celery, but I found some donuts. So I bought those instead. I was happy. And she keeps going on and on and on. And somehow we're trying to get in a story of how you made Christmas dinner. And it's like, wow, I did not need to know your entire journey.
No, there's a worse video, I think, than this. That's currently in the Smud suggestions, where it's like, how to fix Scooby-Doo in the cyber chase. I watched the whole thing, and there's nothing about how to fix it. It's literally just rambling about the Scooby-Doo movie, and then something capitalism, and then thanks for watching. It's like, that's it. What, you didn't say anything about how to fix it. You wasted my fucking time.
Yeah, this is a wonderful little format that the Drinker made with the Drinker fixes.
Like at least he says something instead of just here's the title that doesn't actually appear in the video.
And he tries to do it in a serious, competent writer's way, and not just random. This is the plot fetish bullshit I want in it stuff, but actual. These are the errors of the movie. This is how you could make it into a proper one. That would be good criticism if you want to add this. The bug fix, so to say.
All right, okay. Let's go to 13 minutes. We're at 9 minutes and 45 seconds. This is taking so long.
Go to 13 minutes.
Yeah, I need a break from all this crap.
Titled The Legend of Korra is garbage, and here's why, and Steven Universe is garbage, and
there we go. Finally,
well, they are both garbage. That we can agree on that.
Both of these videos are similar lengths to H-Bomber Guys, at times use the same jokes as his, and are structured in the exact same way. Interesting.
Oh, so it's physical similarities. Wow, that must be a copy.
You.
The copy from H-Bomber Guy.
Okay.
Like that's not the thing I would criticize Lily Orchard for.
H-Bomber Guy did not own a patent on making a long-ass video about bitching about TV shows, okay?
Wasn't H-Bomber Guy complaining about Longman videos?
Yes, he also does that too.
Was it before he made his Longman videos?
Yeah.
It was after.
Yeah.
That's even dumber.
Anyway.
Because they are bad Longman videos.
Anyway. She's expressing her, ooh, I found a pattern moment. So it's like, that's great, honey. It's good for you. Get on with it.
But I'm not here to criticize those videos for being ripoffs or whatever, nor are these the only videos that I want to talk about here.
You're 10 minutes in. Please start talking about your actual subject of bad media criticism.
You're worse.
Please.
Yeah.
You're worse than an artist. You tell us this, although you don't want to talk about it.
No. She's a woman. See, this is a good example. An artist would mention all of this to set up actual context. Yes.
But you say all this to not say it.
There's numerous comedians who have made this joke where you ask a woman a question, she gives you a story. And it's like, no. I want to know what 2 + 2 is. Why are you telling me your life story of how you learned mathematics in the first grade and your friend there and your teacher was this person and she didn't look at you nice and all this other crap? Just tell me what the answer is. That's all I want to know.
I do things like that, but not about 2 + 2.
I just realized she has a Doctor Who thing in the back.
I said that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. And now I'm just looking at that and I'm like, oh, I get it now. You're a vapid cunt.
What?
The other posters didn't tell you that?
Oh.
No, because I don't recognize them.
All right.
It's like, okay, vaguely artistic-ish poster?
Night Vale is a horror radio podcast that pretends to be in a consistent world. Like, do you know this the radio show in Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines?
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, it's trying to be that.
Oh, they want to. Oh yeah, you shouldn't try to. But you shouldn't try to be Midnight Radio. You're not gonna have the voice quality for that. Simple as.
All right.
Yeah, it only just passed through my brain now that it's like, oh, she's a Doctor Who fan. It all makes sense now.
Well, this is
And guess
2018, so.
What? All the girls that told me about Welcome to Night Vale never played Bloodlines.
Okay.
And they don't, because they pretend to be gamers. They pretend to be into video games. They don't play them. They
Okay,
just want to be entertained passively.
so let's imagine. let's-
become couch potatoes.
Let's imagine we've never watched this video and we started at this point, and now she says, what I do want to do is use these videos as well as channels like Cinema Sins and blah, blah, blah. And now we'll hear her actual statement of points of arguments or whatever she's trying to do here.
I would be a
Amazing.
lot less angry at her passive-aggressive smug attitude.
Okay.
Do we
What I
have to
want to
start
do is
again
use
with
these videos
complaints
as well
about
as channels
how
like Cinema
everything
Sins and the
looks?
Nostalgia Critic as examples of what happens when good
Move on
principles
from
like
Nostalgia
comedy
Critic,
or
please.
criticism get so distorted that they end up doing the exact opposite of good faith criticism.
What is good faith criticism, lady? Define your term.
No. She's just gotten to that, okay? Now
Is
we've
this the
got
point where
history.
she now certainly will because she's such a good faith video essayist?
All we know is that H-Bomber Guy in his video on 3-hour thing on Sherlock is good faith criticism for some reason.
And Lily is bad faith.
Yeah, and everyone else copying him is not or something. I don't know. I just like, what is your point?
So now that everyone is on the same page
No, we're not. Vis-a-vis, you retard.
vis-a-vis context, I'd like to talk about some of the common features associated with media criticism that is not good.
Oh,
you.
finally.
Oh my god, the actual video begins here.
Wait, inauthentic nitpicking?
Oh, that's a...
Like, either you are nitpicking or you're not. The question is it relevant or not? This has nothing to do with authenticity.
Yeah, just say nitpicking or not. That's exactly.
I think that's just. It's the wrong adjective.
Yeah, if you're.
I know what she wants to say, but it's the wrong adjective.
Yeah, if you're critiquing a plot, you address the elements of the plot, and you can nitpick the plot because that's the point. So fine.
What she wants is disingenuous nitpicking.
I guess, but a nitpicking what though? Like just in general?
Counterpoint. Why the fuck are you putting your good faith, bad faith bullshit into critiquing a fucking product?
Well, what does nitpicking have anything to do with good faith arguments? I could nitpick the topic at hand. It doesn't have to be
Because it's similar to cherry picking. It's often seen as a fallacy when it not always is.
if you're not addressing the major issue, that's fine.
Yeah,
But
because criticism is about highlighting the really bad parts that you nitpick and the really good parts that you cherry pick in a positive way, not in the disingenuous way where you ignore the opposites.
Also, on a completely unrelated note, I would like to thank these 30-some people that consistently go to this stream and listen to us talk about shit like this for hours on end. Like we've been going for an hour and 30 minutes now, and the video's just now started, and people are actually listening to this.
all right.
Yeah.
Here is JS. Thanks for the one. Good faith criticism is when H-Bomber Guy takes Matthew Matosis out of context, or when Quentin gets Mumkey Jones yeeted off YouTube. Bad faith criticism is when Longman points out that Ray is Mary Sue.
Oh, right. I forgot that Quentin did that.
Mumkey Jones, who's that?
Oh, he was an edgy YouTuber who do like funny videos on what's his face, Elliot Rodger there.
Oh, jeez.
Indeed, it was before your time, Smuts. Well, technically not.
I don't even want to know about that, but that's okay. Anyway, here we go. Inauthentic nitpicking.
One interesting thing to note about some of these media critics is that their niche is centered around specific types of movies or shows. You have people who focus mainly on animated films, people who focus mostly on religious media, and people who focus specifically on things that they don't like. On its own,
That's
there's
not.
nothing-
CinemaSins doesn't focus on things he doesn't like. CinemaSins just takes the new popular thing
Yeah.
and just says random bullshit
But even
about
if-
it that doesn't even make sense or has anything to do with what's going on.
But even if it was negative, it wouldn't be a niche. You can dislike things and just rant about it on anything on your YouTube channel. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just wondering, how is ranting about some of the most beloved movies of all time niche? Or, in that sense, or that same plot line, how is him shitting on Jurassic Park, a movie that he adamantly liked, a sign of him shitting on movies he doesn't like? What?
8 million subs is not what I would call niche content.
All right.
It's because, as you say, ranting about movies is what we all do with our friends. Or about media or whatever.
Unless there's like a perfect film and oh my god, everything was amazing. I couldn't think of one bad thing. It's everyone.
But even that we talk about because then we all want to watch it. That's why there are. By the way, that is why to this day there are annual watch parties of the extended versions of Lord of the Rings. Because these movies are so fucking good that people still watch marathons of them with their friends.
Okay.
Wrong with any of this. It's a good idea to brand yourself in a recognizable way and do things that are personally interesting to you. But in the latter category, solely doing negative reviews, you can start to run into a few problems because of the nature of YouTube. You're probably not going to run into this problem as a small channel, but once you get big enough that you can rely on YouTube for your primary source of income, think channels like Red Letter Media or Screen Junkies.
She finally mentions them. Some of the cornerstones of film criticism. A person that has single-handedly ruined the discussion of the prequels. Red Letter Media, thank you. Fucking finally.
And she's going to criticize them.
You can only focus on things that interest you. As much as you might want to make 8 videos talking about your favorite obscure 1975 documentary, you do need to eat. And around video 3 or 4, people will probably stop.
Wait.
I have no idea what she's saying right now. My brain's off.
She's trying to say, if you do this, you're not going to be popular. Therefore, don't do this.
Relying on YouTube as your primary source of income or sole source of income is always dumb.
Wait, hold on. Just play that back again.
Okay.
Just, context.
But once you get big enough that you can rely on YouTube for your primary source of income, think channels like Red Letter Media or Screen Junkies, you can no longer only focus on things that interest you. As much as you might want to make...
So Red Letter Media doesn't need YouTube AdSense. They have Patreon. And
also, budget breaks the Screen Junkies at bottom barrel criticism. Absolutely, I completely agree. However, they are cornerstones of movie criticism, regardless.
I would disagree that it's just about that you cannot do stuff anymore that you like, because that's how you got that big.
Right. Okay.
The question is, how long do you want to keep going?
Here is the Giga Chad. One more time. Hey, sir. A good faith criticism is when Quentin Reviews goes to Mumkey's DMs and says faggot 1,000,000 times. Good faith criticism is when Jenny Nicholson calls John Stamos a pedophile with no evidence. Good faith criticism is when Movie Bob eats Mountain Dew chicken.
Did you know Quentin blew up at a kid thinking it was actually Mumkey? That actually happened, unfortunately.
On a summer-related note, Max Derrett is a guy that is famous for doing videos on psychology, on Silent Hill, Metal Gear, all other kinds of stuff. And he's at like 280,000 subs.
Oh, you got that big?
Strong.
You got that big?
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
And he's only been doing stuff that he likes, which is to analyze psychology and vague chemistry stuff.
Yeah, but
and alchemy.
I don't know where she's going with this. Like, who cares whether it's your primary form of income and you want to do niche things that only you care about? Like, like, good for you.
I think her point is that these people talk about shit they don't care about, and that means that it's bad faith criticism because they don't care about the movie they're criticizing. As you mentioned in the opening, with bad faith criticism is that, oh, you don't actually know the history of Rey Skywalker's actor and how she got into that role, or how Tico actress used the money for the movie to fund her education. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, it's like she did some research and forgot to like get rid of like 80% of the crap she doesn't have to tell us. She just kept talking. And like, honey, just don't bother with all the other information. Just give us the topic.
First drafts are shit.
Always. Every single time, regardless of medium, regardless of anything anyone tells you, the first draft is shit.
Okay. 2 minutes.
8 videos talking about your favorite obscure 1975 documentary, you do need to eat, and around video 3 or 4, people will probably stop watching. So what a lot of these bigger channels do is they review whatever is topical at the moment. CGI Jungle Book movie coming out, they'll make a video about the original Jungle Book.
So Lindsay Ellis.
Yeah, why not? You have something to compare it to.
Yeah. This is so, like, are you teaching me how to make a YouTube channel? Like, I don't care. Like, this is not why you're talking to me.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, this is a normal effect, by the way. Like when a new game in a series comes out, before release, the people who are really into that game series, they start playing the old games in that series.
Sure.
It's a normal thing.
Yeah. Here is JS. Hey, JS, thanks for the one. Good faith criticism is when Patrick Willems tells the Last Jedi critics that it's space wizards intended for children. Bad faith criticism is when Patrick Willems hates Rise of Skywalker and gets told it's space wizards intended for children.
My favorite is you get to look at women.
You get to look at women.
We're looking at a woman right now. Is that now good or is it sexism?
The looking is okay. It's listening. It's the problem.
I would disagree with that. There's nothing to look at. There is something to look at. I mean, the plushie is nice.
Okay. Here's the Tempest.
This is very subtle stuff to look at. Like, why do you think she's wearing the long necklace with the rose quartz? There, it shapes the t-shirt so that you can actually see the bulge.
Okay, here's Tempest.
That is what that's there for. However, I would suggest to her to switch out her rose quartz for an amethyst that would increase her ability to speak, as we're talking about magical crystals here.
Okay, all right. I am sure she is implying that if you make long videos, it is not possible for the audience to take breaks while you watch them, so you'll lose some viewers because they don't want to watch the entire thing at one time. Okay.
I watched the entirety of Muller's video on the Multiverse of Madness like in one sitting because I'm an absolute madman. And there are plenty of people that will do that, but there's even more people that can do this wonderful thing called resuming to the video whenever they feel like it. Because YouTube remembers where you left off. It's a wonderful thing. You should try it out.
A wonderful thing called intermission.
Yeah. All right. Minute and a half. Here we go.
Be coming out, they'll talk about something Marvel. A popular movie is about to be released to Netflix, we'll talk about that one. Whatever is currently relevant is what's most likely to generate the most clicks and thus the most revenue.
That's great.
Once again, there's nothing inherently wrong with talking about things that are popular.
Okay.
But when your niche is negative reviews and you're pretty much bound to reviewing specific movies, it no longer becomes about you giving your actual opinion.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
What? That's odd.
What she believes is that what she calls negative reviews are solely bad faith talking crap and making up crap about something that maybe, like something that's coming out, where you talk about the trailers, for example, will always be wrong. Like, it's just slander. And that is not the case. Because we've seen all this crap that's coming out of Hollywood for the past couple of years, and the American comics, the big two, and it's all crap. And we can see it. We can see it from the advertisement if there is any, because sometimes they don't even make it anymore because they know it's shit.
It depends.
And then the question is, why do they make it in the first place? And that is not negative reviews. That is calling out the repetitive bullshit that Hollywood refuses to learn from because they are such narcissists that they have to double down on everything they do wrong, because not doing that would be admission.
Well, there's plenty of people
that they did wrong
on YouTube who, before a show comes out, people criticize the trailer and they analyze the trailers. Oh, the 30 things you missed in this trailer, or whatever they analyze. And sadly, like for me, I analyzed all the media from BioWare when they were releasing Mass Effect games, and when Andromeda came out, before it came out, it had all these dumb trailers. And on the surface level, they look, ooh, that looks good, that looks cool. Yeah, everything's polished. It's a trailer. It's supposed to look good. But when you stop and read and listen, you're like, what are they talking about? How the hell do you find ice and water? How do you get from here to there without explaining the whole mission? What is the point of this mission? Why are we going?
People skyrocketing into unknown space without actually checking whether there is sustainable life out there.
It's insane crap that it doesn't make any sense. We're talking about like the mission to Mars or something like that. We have all these problems. Like, why would we do that? Why don't we go to the moon first? If we really wanted to go to outer space in a reasonable way. Like, there's all sorts of things that you would logically do first, or talk about, or mention in a reasonable way that people to wrap their brains around. So when you watch these trailers and you're like, well, even for Mass Effect 2, you're like, who are all these people? There's all these characters. Oh, I get to play with that. There's like 12 characters. Why are there so many? Why do we have so many people in the story? What is the point of that? And that's where my brain starts trying to figure out, okay, this is going to be a huge story told across multiple games, multiple DLC. It's like, no, it's one game. One game, one or two DLCs. And, oh yeah, we forgot to make a bridging DLC because we forgot the story that has all these characters because they don't integrate into the actual main plot. And
if your plan is to make a trilogy, not only have a fucking story planned out with an ending, but also the singular parts of that trilogy need to be able to stand on their own.
Yeah, it's
you can watch Empire Strikes Back on its own without knowing anything else.
Yeah,
and it still works.
Imagine George R.R. Martin made his fourth book, not his fifth, but his fourth book, and he forgot the last chapter, and then he releases DLC because, oh yeah, I should do that. So
he does do that though.
But the last chapter has nothing to do with the entire book that he just wrote. So it's like, why did you write it that way? So it's the selling. Marketing is a sales pitch to buy the product. It's a lie. It's always going to be a lie. It's bombastic. It's colorful lights and sounds, and that's it. It gets you to buy the thing. And people have YouTube channels that analyze, let's look at the trailer for Rings of Power again, and from this angle, or from that angle. Okay.
Well, yeah, you can have trailers on here are going to try and lie to you. But the point that many people take issue with when it comes to trailers, as you did when you did your analysis of Andromeda, was that, okay, what are they showing? What are they telling you that's going to be in said product? And if that does not align with the trailers, and you can sue people over this, is if there is misleading advertising.
Right. And that was an actual potential litigation trial that almost happened.
Yep.
Anyway, we got a minute left.
Almost there.
Yeah. This is a girl who either likes school or failed school, and now she wants to put her research methods into a video, and she's wasting everyone's time.
You
it's
research
the girl
things
that
in
reminded
school?
the teacher that there was homework to be done.
Okay.
Instead, no matter what the movie is, it's predetermined that your opinion is always going to be negative. Even if the movie is excellent, it becomes your job to hate it.
Okay, what's wrong with that if it is worthy of being hated? What is the problem? Like, I could probably find out a bunch of really bad things in The Princess Bride that you probably never noticed. And I love that film.
Her argument fails because Red Letter Media talks about movies that they really like. The Drinker talks about movies that he really likes, if not loves, and they're gems of time, of movie history. I don't know. I wasn't the only one who kept mentioning Big Trouble in Little China in his comment section as a thing he should cover, please, 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 please. And eventually he did, because he himself loves the movie. And Mauler did Unbridled Praises as well. So it's not as she says it.
Sadly,
maybe there are people who think they have to do all the bad things all the time, but they're the stupid people. Sorry, Lalo, what did you say?
I should be the one to apologize when I start talking over you. But sadly, Mauler did an appraisal of, well, his first unbridled praise was of Infinity War, which was a garbage fucking movie. So it's a shame that he started out with the format on that movie and wasted there. But he did a good job on The Founder. Excellent job, actually.
The movie had weaknesses. In regards to superhero movies, it was and to Marvel MCU stuff, it was I think what blew people away was its boldness to be serious, to have consequences, lasting ones.
Yeah,
which were in comic cartoon fashion removed in the follow-up, but by itself, that is what made the movie stand out.
Yeah, it's still a garbage fucking movie. And my point is that, yeah, it's a shame he introduced the format on a bad movie, but then he redeemed himself with a good movie using the same format.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, your point is so strong with, these people can adapt. And those that don't, we don't fucking talk about because they fade to the wayside. Like, you guys know that Black Pigeon Speaks is still a thing?
Wait, what's that?
Yeah, what is it?
Exactly. He was big during like 2013, 2014.
Wasn't he just throttled down because his channel was nuked a couple times?
All right.
I'm not gonna I can't comment on that because I haven't kept up with his stuff. But during the time, yes, he did get fucking nuked.
Yeah, but there were a couple of YouTubers that the algorithm just throttled down so far that it just wasn't fun anymore for them. Like Undoomed got 200,000 views per video, and then the YouTube just decided to mess with the algorithm, deliberately hide his videos from people, and he dropped down to 20,000 per video. Just like that, just overnight. So and that's just when not with having an actual job at the same time, because he wasn't so dumb as to make that his sole source of income. He just decided, I can spend my time better than that because this is not worth it anymore.
Yeah. So bad.
And that is, by the way, that is how soft censorship works. It is still censorship.
Yeah, so bad example. But my point is that the people that she's talking about can adapt. Sadly, Lily Orchard is still going to be a thing in like 2 or 3 years, whatnot.
It's because Lily Orchard is obsessed.
Yes, they can adapt. That won't be an issue. It's a fictional problem.
Okay.
And that often means looking for the most minute details to criticize, even when those details end up having little to no bearing on the film's central message story.
So what? That may not
central message is not always the most important thing. Sometimes the things around it are equally important because they are what fleshes out everything. The basic story of many things is very boring if you really boil it down to it.
There's nothing wrong with illuminating a light on things that are flaws or great. People gush about films they love so many times. There's nothing wrong with doing the opposite. Yeah. So good for them.
What's the look at central message of Breaking Bad? Most characters are irrelevant for that. You can just throw them out. So criticism about those would thus be unnecessary.
Or enjoyability. We're talking things like
Enjoyability.
if you pause the movie at this
That's
exact
subjective.
very specific moment, you can tell they're using a stunt double, so movie bad. I see no reason to be vague. I'm mostly talking about cinema sins here, although
No, that's so that
Even with that,
there are
CinemaSins
different
use
levels
a
of
point-based
critique.
system.
There are different levels of critique. That is an aspect of the craft of filmmaking itself. That is not something to do with the writing, the story, which is the more important part of criticism. Bad effects. It's its own category of let's take that apart. But usually we are most willing to forgive bad effects when the rest is good.
I'm so confused as to why she has put herself in a position where we have to defend CinemaSins fucking CinemaSins honor in movie criticism.
Yeah.
CinemaSins his honor?
Maybe.
She has theoretical honor.
All right.
And for example, effects is not something or stuntman is not where it's a bit skewed. It's not something I would criticize Buffy over, because that's not the relevant part of it. There is one episode early in one of the seasons, I think third or fourth, where suddenly there's really good fight choreography, and then they just drop it. It's gone again, and it's just this dumb stuff again. And I wonder what happened. Did they had this really good idea, but did it cost too much? Was it too much effort for the ever more anorexic Sarah Michelle Gellar? I don't know.
All right. Here is JS. Good faith criticism is when Dean Takahashi can't get through Cuphead tutorial. Bad faith criticism is when people point out that maybe he shouldn't be reviewing games he can't play.
Also, it's not just Cuphead. That guy is just flat out awful at video games.
Oh.
Yeah, and over on the other channel we got the paraplegic guy who plays for Sekiro.
Yep.
Yay!
I remember the video of an Overwatch player, a veteran. Well, the video was of a veteran playing Overwatch. And the guy, holy shit, he had one arm, he had the controller up on his shoulder, and he could kick ass as Farah, who herself is a veteran in the lore, just kicking people's asses. And he only had one fucking working hand and a stump.
Imagine being outplayed by Stephen Hawking.
Basically.
All right, so she's going to bitch about CinemaSins because of course she is.
Although other channels do this as well. But CinemaSins is particularly frustrating with this, and that's mostly because the channel is extremely popular and it informs how a lot of people look at media. I won't talk about this for too long, mostly because Lindsay Ellis explained it very well.
Because Lindsay,
critiques that are mostly about pointing out the tiniest plot holes or acting obtuse about a small element because it wasn't explained in perfect detail have become so popular that they're affecting how films are getting made. I mean,
good. No, what? When? Who?
That would be good.
How
if that would be affecting how films are made, that would mean that they would take more care to not fuck up these things.
Does she seriously?
But it's not happening.
Writers in Hollywood are watching YouTube 24/7 going, oh, I'll never write a story like that because some random critic said so, and they go to make off their masterpiece. I wish that were the case, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know what the last time was? When I heard someone mention that they listen to YouTubers, including Stream Junkies.
Can you imagine, like, the BioWare social forums, they just listen to all the criticisms, like, hey, your game is not really well put together, these characters don't make any sense, they have nothing to do with the plot, there's all this extra crap in there, you have all this unnecessary romantic bullshit. Can you just tell us a good story? Can you just do that? And they'll be like, oh, that's our problem, let's go run and do that.
There are people in Hollywood who do watch Drinker, and he has some of them on his interviews with them, and they're relevant names. So it does happen. The question is just when do we see the results of that? That is the question.
One that comes to mind is the director for Captain America: Civil War. He came out and said, "Oh yeah, I listened to Screen Junkies with honest trailers."
Yeah.
I said, oh yeah, this informed me of the critiques they have for the movies. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to that and try to make up try to tighten the script.
Yeah, if all the criticisms were about plot and how bad they are or how many holes there are, I'm not seeing how that's a bad thing. You want writers to catch these mistakes and catch these holes before they go into full production. And good God, we did not see that in any of the Star Wars films, well, past 7, of course. So I wish we had that in the big budget films. But the thing is, when you have hundreds of millions of bucks and you're in creative control of the whole thing, you do whatever the hell you want because you're the guy who knows what's right. And everyone goes, yes, I will do what you want, sir. I'll go spend $20 million on making a giant sea monster because you want me to.
Just for you.
So there's a difference between, yeah, these people totally watch YouTube and, well, Disney threw hundreds of millions of bucks at me. What do I care? So anyway, we got 20 seconds, let's say. Yeah.
The guys who made The Winter Soldier were such big fans of honest trailers that they deliberately designed their movie to be as honest trailer-proof as possible.
Hey.
And it's a great film, right?
Yeah,
people love
it.
it.
That's a good thing.
I like it.
That's
a good effect.
That's one of out of all the Marvel films, a lot of people give me that one. And what's the other one they argue is the best? Winter Soldier, and is it Civil War or is it just Winter Soldier? I think it's Winter Soldier. Anyway, people love that.
Civil War is Muller's favorite.
Yeah, I hear that from fans of Marvel. They talk about, what's the favorite MCU film? It's either Civil War or Winter Soldier. For whatever reason. I haven't watched them. I don't know. But people love it.
It's a lot of Captain America in it, so... And he steals the fucking show most of the time.
This is the effect that critique should have. That less mistakes are made.
Yes,
that
exactly.
the quality rises.
Yes. Anyway, so we're going to stop here because that is the first thing that we know. She didn't tell us, but we know that is good from criticism. But it's completely unrelated to the topic of bad media criticism. This is just a good thing that just happened to happen because a guy in Hollywood was listening. That's it. She is wasting her time, honestly. The video really started about 2 minutes ago, so if you want to keep going tomorrow, we can. We might have some Smud Talks going. That would be fun. We could keep going. It's up to you guys.
I'd be fine with finishing this.
Okay. Yeah, so thanks, guys, for watching. Please leave your suggestions in the Discord, as always. Also, the link to the poll is still there. We're always getting more results coming in. I'm going to give it one more week just to make sure we're not losing out, because it's kind of, you see a pattern already, but I want to make sure we got everyone. So please leave your favorite games, of the favorite experiences of your games out of the list of 155 games on the poll. And we're going to do something with that soon. So
stream memes.
Oh yeah, we got stream memes. That's right.
Stream memes out of the way.
It's a good idea.
Are there gonna be any? There wasn't that much to go through.
Of course there is.
There seem to be some.
Okay, what the? Steve? What the? Taco Bell? What the? Oh my God, this user is absolutely deranged. If you see him in your comments, don't respond unless you want to suffer paragraphs of nonsense and migraines. Oh boy. Mahler, Jackson. Schrodinger's criticism. Because I think it applies to so many popular online media critics who conveniently switch between this is my serious critique or this isn't a serious critique, depending on how many flaws one can find in their argument if they fact check it. Really. Oh, God.
Yeah, it doesn't sound wrong. It's like Schrödinger's douchebag, depending on the reception. So basically, there's a term for this already, in a way. Schrödinger's douchebag is when somebody says some outrageous comment, and depending on whether people like it, it was meant seriously, and your honest opinion. And if they don't like it, it was just a joke. That's what bad people would say. It's a manipulative It's manipulative behavior.
This is great. Berserk. Twinks are evil and you should kill them. Doctor Who's pro-life episode. An exhaustive defense of fan fiction. Oh boy, honey. Binge watching is kind of bad for TV. Why? The rise and fall of geek culture. Oh, here we go again. No Idiocracy is not a documentary.
Debatable.
I don't know. We're living in some pretty weird times this year.
We're living in it already.
I thought I put the wrong movie on when I first put that on.
Does J.K. Rowling's transphobia ruin Harry Potter? Tumblr's strangest obsession. A history of the Onseller fandom?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't care.
Tumblr has stranger obsessions than whatever this cartoon is.
What the? I'm not going to read that. All blind deaf people are secretly socialists. Wow, new Soup Emporium video. Was Helen Keller a fraud? Okay.
Very marketable videos.
Why Super Mario 64 is terrifying. Okay. Oh. White man been here. How can you tell? Video essay. Oh. Breaking Bad. Walter White did absolutely nothing wrong. Okay. Sarah Z. I despise racial minorities and the LGBT community. Okay.
How is that shit?
Her name is Mary Sue Writer. That's her Twitter handle. Oh my goodness. This was recent. This was like 10 days ago.
Is she a shitlord and this is just all
I don't know.
Satire?
I don't know.
I can't tell if that was
Because this is played way too serious and there are no exaggerations.
We started out with Smut thinking that she was a parody.
Yeah.
Remember when I said that it's probably not as high IQ as you think it is?
Yeah, because she was using a left-leaning term, and I was like, whoa, she's making fun of those people. Okay, different. And then that was just 20 seconds of her making a joke. And I'm like, okay. Someone check up on GigaChad. SpongeBob SquarePants. It's like she's reaching. 8 a.m., wake up. 8:03, take a dump. 8:04, eat breakfast. 8:05, get out of bed. Oh my god.
You forgot to encourage slavery and colonialism in top of the SpongeBob.
No more saying the N-word, Smut. GigaChad. It's January 1984. Writer, I don't want to edit you. Unhinged first draft. I wouldn't want to edit me either. Neither. Oh, leave alone the multi-million-dollar company. Yeah.
For socialism.
Just push him out of the way.
1 second of listening to women speak. 8 hours of harassing women online. What? That's about
Also,
it.
I have to ask, what is that ball on her wall next to the posters? What is that?
A light switch?
Quinton reviews when woman doctor who holds a 40-minute lecture on why gun bad and interracial marriage good.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So
that's what it's become. It's basically Captain Planet now.
What? Vsauce? What is... I don't know what's going on here. All right. Avengers 2. The better Infinity War that isn't Infinity War. Really? Rise of the Panther. Are you sure about that? Okay. I mean, maybe. Could be wrong. All right. That was Stream Memes. We're going to call it a day there. We might do it tomorrow. If not, we might have a game night. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. We never know. Last week was fun. We played Left 4 Dead 2. That was a new experience for me. I was just...
I heard your friendly fire grenade launched your friends.
That was the best part of the entire experience. I was like, guys, get out of the way. Oh, you're in the way. Oh, wow.
Are you not? Are you not anymore?
I'm helping because what happens? The witch jumps on me.
I'm helping.
It's like I gotta kill the witch, so I'll use my AOE attack on everyone.
Nah, you gotta play Left 4 Dead 2 with mods. It's just it becomes pure funny.
Is that the Wiggum maneuver?
I
It just makes everything funnier.
It was awesome, and it was my primary weapon, so I was like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna do?" It's great. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you soon. If not, we'll be playing a game. So have a great night. Bye bye.
Copperhole, I'll do your thing another time. Good night.
I'll see you.
Like,